Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Tech Bytes brought to you by MASSP. My name is Ryan Casey. Today I want to show you a really cool resource called GimKit, which is going to allow you to gamify a lesson or maybe a lesson or quiz review. If you've ever used Kahoot or Quizzes, it works very similarly to that, so you're going to be able to pick this up pretty quick. And as you can see on the screen as I scroll down, one of the things that kind of sets it apart from those other platforms is the ability for students to kind of earn rewards as they answer questions. And there's different types of games they can play, and they actually get to use a little bit of strategy in terms of trying to use a power-up or a level-up in order to gain an advantage of the other players maybe in their classes they're playing along. So it's really cool. It's pretty simple to get started, so let's check it out. Okay, so I am logged in at GimKit. Again, that's GIMKIT.com. I was able to log in and connect and set up my basic or free account just by connecting it to my Google account. So right now I'm at the dashboard, and a lot of kind of basic things here that you'll see in other platforms that do similar things. So right off the bat, I can go ahead and create a kit. So that is the name of that lesson or that quiz review or that game you are setting up. You can see I have one there already. You can, if you are connected to a high school, I connected mine to Croswell-Lexington High School. You can see some other teachers, other kits that have been created and can be shared. So you can use all of their lesson. You can just take a couple questions from it. There are assignments that you can assign. So if you don't want to do something live or synchronous as an entire class, if you upgrade to the premium version, you can send these out as homework assignments. And finally, there is a spot here where you can actually assign your kits to a specific class. You don't need to set up a class. You can use a kit where people just log in, they get a link, they type in the name they want to use for the on-screen game, and they play, just like you would with Kahoot, right? If you set up a class with a link and a roster, then students have to use the associated name that you decide with their account. So if that is an issue, you would take an extra couple steps to set up a class. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the first item. We're going to go ahead and make a new kit. So I can go ahead and go in and click on New Kit if I want to start designing my own. If I want to just look for someone else's that maybe isn't in my school library that I want to be able to import, I could go up and search for kits that way. You can kind of get to that screen either way we go. I'm going to go ahead and click on New Kit. It's going to ask for a name. I'm going to say Tech Bytes, maybe second hour. English, this is a subject of technology. Again, different options there to choose. It's going to have you attach some sort of cover photo to it. And then we can get started by adding just a regular old question that we set up. And then we have some different options here that we'll talk about in just a second. So I'm going to add a question. And again, all the basic question type of information that you would use to build, whether this is multiple choice or short answer. You have to identify a correct answer or multiple correct answers, incorrect. You can attach images to these selections. You can add audio. So I'm just going to take a second to create a couple of questions here, and then we'll show some different other ways we can create questions in just a moment. Okay, so I added my first question. I can go back and edit this question at any time. I can copy this if I'm just making a duplicate, a bunch of similar type questions. We can create a question with flashcards, whether we want to import flashcards in from some sort of text file or again, add them here. So I'm going to add a few different questions here for flashcards. Okay, created the flashcard style. We'll just mix and match all those options together for you. So it created 4 questions for me really quick. We're not going to do the collaborate with Kit collab, but basically if you were to turn this option on, it allows students to submit questions using like a classroom link, if you will. So if you wanted your students to help design some of these games, you would turn that on, give them the code, and they would enter those. We can add a question from a question bank. So if you want to look for different questions that are out there, you can do that. So if we wanted, geography, we can see some different types of geography questions here. This person used in images, so just hit the little plus sign. We'll add some of those in. And again, you can just filter and do different things to look for different assignments that way. And the other option is to import from a spreadsheet. So if you want to download one of these templates and you have a bunch of questions you want to cover, you can type it in a spreadsheet and then upload the file and it'll import it here. So we've added all our questions. I'm going to hit all done. We're going to go back to our dashboard, and now we are getting ready to be able to actually play this game or this kit live. So now we are ready to start playing our live GimKit game. Again, I can always go back at any time and edit or open, copy, this game. We're ready to play live, so I'm going to hit play live. What's really cool about GimKit is that you can play different types of games, especially if you get the premium version. So we're going to do the classic, which is going to be similar to like Kahoot or something. There is a capture the flag one, which requires the players to actually walk around the screen and get to different locations on a map, and they battle against other students in the class, so it's really cool. But we're going to do classic for now. I'm going to hit continue. I can choose if I want to set a time limit to how long they can play and how much money they can make. I can make it a race to, the first person to, $10,000, or there's this all-in option when they collectively as a pool reach a certain amount. So I'm going to set this for, let's say, $5,000. If I had a class set up, I could specifically assign this to a class. Remember, having a class forces the student to use their correct student name. Otherwise, this is just, they go to a screen and they can enter any name they want. Do we want to give them any cash to start with? Do we want to allow them to view the answers if they get it wrong? Do we want music or clapping? I'm going to turn these off just so I can talk. And do we want to allow people to join in late? So a lot of different kind of gameplay options here. Again, this is where it's different than Kahoot, I feel like. So I'm going to hit continue. And then I'm going to load this from what the teacher would see. And then the student is going to join in with this code. So I'm going to switch views so you can see what a student sees. So it explains this game and how they have to answer questions to make money and how they can buy power-ups. We're ready to go. I'm going to hit start game as the teacher. The game has started. Here we go. Oh, got some money. I'm going to keep going. So in this case, I'm making money as I go. I'm up to $60. At any time, if I want to shop, there's different types of power-ups that are available to the students. Some of these can negatively impact other students to give them an advantage. Some of these can give them multipliers. There's insurance, so that you can take a look at different upgrades, different power-ups. You can freeze other players. Different themes if they want to change just the aesthetics or the appearance. I'm going to up my streak bonus, or actually the money I get per question. So I'm going to go to, do I have this level? This is how much, I have that much money right now. I can do that. So here we go. Continent number 2. So if I get a question wrong, I would lose money. So again, they have to plan out, and hopefully they're doing correct. They can go back at any time. Oh, and they can keep shopping for different types of things. So at any time they can go back through and they can ice other players that are in the game. So a lot of cool options here. The teacher side, the teacher can see by clicking on different student names kind of how they're doing, or if they're hitting a point here they're not doing well. If I want to in the game, I can do that right now. There's also some options depending on what type of game you pick, where the teacher can go through and give people a boost or take them down a level. They can freeze opponent. If you got somebody that's racing through crushing everybody, you can freeze that kid. I'm going to hit in game. All right. So you can see, celebratory information. You can view the report in terms of how different students performed and what questions. So it does give you a breakdown on the questions and how they did. You can see the game ended for Wendy. It's going to pull up this player's stats for the day. They got first place. And there you go. And so again, at any time, they can go back. You can replay this. You can pull up the report to see kind of some basic stats. And again, it's a really fun way, and I would really encourage you to try some of those other games that are available for you to use with your class. So the best thing you can do is sign up with the basic account and just explore some of those different types of games that you can play. Again, we did one that felt pretty similar, that Kahoot quiz show style. You can actually try some of the premium version games. You can try any of them. You can only have up to 5 players in each, though, to start, unless you want to upgrade. So if you do want to upgrade, you can do so. You can see all the different types of games there are to choose from. I believe it's like $60 for the year, which I think is actually pretty reasonable. Again, this is a really fun game. People at any time can go through and update, different, their locker, different charms they get for their characters, their different characters and what they look like. They can have more money stashed away to use for power-ups during games. So it does get kids engaged in that aspect. So it's a really cool platform. Again, GimKit.com. I hope you check it out. Remember, if you like this video, you can watch other TechByte videos by heading to MASSP.com/TechBytes. You can also head over to the MASSP YouTube page to see videos like this and more. We hope everybody enjoyed this edition of TechBytes. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.